South Africa is a country where Mother Nature clearly left her mark. It's a land of treasures with 8 UNESCO heritage sites and a history so rich you can practically feel it. Did you know that South Africa might just be the very birthplace of humanity? And have you ever heard of the Rainbow Nation? This is South Africa's official nickname, as it's a melting pot of cultures with 11 official languages. Oh, and those delicious fruits you love to munch on? They're probably grown in South Africa, the world's second largest fruit producer. There's so much more to find out, so stick around as we give you some interesting facts about this natural beauty. 1. South Africa, also known as the Republic of South Africa, holds the southernmost position on the African continent. Its extensive coastline stretches 2,700 kilometers along the South Atlantic and Indian Oceans to the south. The country shares its northern borders with Namibia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe, while to the east and northwest, it's bordered by Mozambique and Eswatini. 2. Did you know that even though South Africa only covers a tiny 2% of the Earth's land, it's like the top spot for biodiversity? This includes 10% of the world's coolest birds, fish, plants, and even penguins, plus 7% of the mammals and reptiles. Sure, you might not spot lions, elephants, or giraffes strolling down the city blocks, but Mother Nature's party is always on in South Africa. You'll find mischievous vervet monkeys swinging from tree to tree in the suburbs, baboons having fun at Cape Point, seals making a pit stop at Hout Bay for a fishy treat, and a different bird species putting on a show whenever you look up. Along the coastal western Cape town of Simonstown lies Boulders Beach, where you can take a dip and swim alongside lively colonies of African penguins. 3. If you're a wine lover, you'll have the ultimate adventure in Cape Wineland region, where gems like Franschhoek, Stellenbosch, and Parle await your taste buds. This place is like a vineyard wonderland, with award-winning estates producing mind-blowing wines yearly. We're talking more than 500 wineries in this region alone and a whopping 2,000 plus in the country. But that's not all. Ever heard of Route 62? Route 62 is the world's longest wine route, stretching over 850 kilometers. Imagine taking a tour here and sipping fine wine at excellent wineries. We believe it's a wine lover's dream come true. And speaking of dreams, don't forget to have a taste of some Pinotage, the signature wine of South Africa. 4. South Africa is a big name in medical history, and here's why. On the 3rd of December, 1967, Dr. Christian Barnard pulled off the first ever heart transplant at Groote Schuur Hospital. And guess where it happened? Cape Town, South Africa. Louis Washkansky was the lucky guy who had the surgery, and it was a true game changer. However, Dr. Barnard didn't do this alone. He had a squad of surgeons, nurses, and tech experts by his side, and the surgery went on for 6 hours. 5. Looking for that adrenaline rush? Well, head to Tsitsikamma, right on the Western Cape and Eastern Cape border, and get ready to conquer one of the planet's highest commercial bungee jumps. Imagine jumping off a jaw-dropping 216-meter plunge off the Bluekrans Bridge, soaring through the air and heading straight for the Bluekrans River below. This isn't just any kind of jump. It's a heart-pounding adventure reserved for the ones with real guts. So, do you think you're up for the challenge? 6. Social life in South Africa revolves around a beloved ritual, the braai, also known as the barbecue. It's a cultural phenomenon in every home and community where people gather to talk, laugh, and feast. And if you're lucky enough to score an invite to a braai, here's a tip. Don't be that person who shows up empty-handed. It's a good idea to check if you need to bring your meat to throw on the grill. Oh, and don't forget a small gift for your host. 7. There's a street in South Africa home to not one, but 2 Nobel Peace Prize legends. Think you can guess who? Nelson Mandela and Archbishop Desmond Tutu, both Nobel laureates, called Vilakazi Street home at some point. In 1984, Tutu snagged the Peace Prize for his nonviolent battle against apartheid, and later in 1993, Mandela and F.W. de Klerk shared the spotlight for peacefully ending apartheid. Mandela, of course, went on to become South Africa's first democratically elected president in 1994. Fast forward to today, and Mandela's house on Vilakazi Street is a museum, giving you a glimpse into the life of a true icon. And here's a fun fact. The street is named after Dr. B.W. Vilakazi, a poetic genius who shaped the written forms of isiZulu and Siswati and even threw in a helping hand to create the isiZulu dictionary. 8. We all know the story of the tooth fairy, but the South Africans have a little twist to it. When a little one loses a tooth, there's no tucking it under the pillow here. Instead, they put that tooth into a slipper, leaving it in the room. And then, in the dead of night, while everyone is fast asleep, this mouse, not the classic fairy with wings, sneaks in, grabs the tooth, and makes a little switch. Instead of a shiny coin, the child wakes up to find a surprise gift left behind. Yes, that's right. It's a whole different experience in South Africa, where mice play the role of fairy godmothers. 9. So, in South Africa, the government likes to keep things a bit interesting, and this is exactly why they have 3 capital cities. We've got Cape Town with the legislative power, Pretoria holding it down on the administrative level, and Bloemfontein with all the judicial power. Now, here's the cool part. Parliament meetings are a whole travel adventure as they spend 6 months in Cape Town and the other 6 months in Pretoria. You can head over to Pretoria's Union Buildings, the official headquarters of the president, where your eyes will be blessed with views of a huge Nelson Mandela statue, beautiful gardens, and grounds that are practically begging for a stroll. 10. Do you remember what it was like for you when you became an adult? In South Africa, turning 21 comes with a heartwarming tradition. When someone hits the big 21, parents hand over a key. Not just any key, but a symbolic key. This little piece of metal is like an affirmation that as they step into adulthood, they're unlocking a whole world of new opportunities and experiences. These traditions are not just mere rituals, but the heart and soul of what makes South Africa uniquely beautiful. So the next time you see a 21-year-old in South Africa flashing a key, no, it's the ultimate badge of adulthood. 11. For all the hikers, South Africa has something really big in store for you because Cape Town's Table Mountain is a living legend. Clocking in at a jaw-dropping 260 to 600 million years old, this mountain can be considered the grandfather of all mountains. And it's not just standing there looking pretty. It's a complete botanical paradise, having thousands of plant species, some even exclusive to the Cape floral region. And here's a fun fact. It's one of the world's 7 new natural wonders. It's also rumored to be one of the 12 major energy spots on the planet, radiating spiritual, magnetic, and electric vibes. 12. Did you know that South Africa is a pioneer when it comes to the world of coal to oil technology? Well, here's the full scoop. After World War II, the country was facing economic hardships, and getting hold of oil was like chasing a shadow. But in the face of adversity, with their abundant coal reserves, they embarked on a quest to turn coal into liquid gold. At first, they thought it was an impossible mission, but lo and behold, it turned out to be a lot easier than they ever imagined. Fast forward to today, and South Africa stands tall as a powerhouse in the synthetic oil game, proudly represented by the behemoth known as Sasol. This caused a ripple effect as China and the United States of America caught wind of this game changer. China is breaking ground on a coal-to-oil plant, while the U.S. is taking notes and adopting coal-to-oil technology into its academic curriculum. 13. Get ready to step back in time because the Sterkfontein caves, just northwest of Johannesburg, are filled with treasures of our earliest human story. Archaeologists have dug up human remains here that are more than 2 million years old. This place has earned the grand title of the Cradle of Humankind. It's not just a fancy name, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. South Africa is like a time capsule with natural and human fossils that go back hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. South Africa is the real deal, from early dinosaurs in the Western Cape to the Karoo holding the secret to 80% of mammalian fossils. 14. Regarding mining, South Africa is top of the food chain, holding nearly 90% of all platinum metals on the planet. And when it comes to gold, South Africa is the undisputed champion, as it produces 41% of the world's gold. In fact, rumor has it that the country has a collection of over 20 other mining types from 6 different nations. And here's something cool. Back in 1905, the largest diamond ever discovered on the planet was unearthed in a Pretoria mine. Known as the Cullinan Diamond, this gem weighed an astonishing 1.33 pounds, with 3,106 carats. Following its discovery, the diamond was carefully cut into various smaller diamonds, with the most significant among them now known as the Great Star of Africa, proudly gracing the British crown jewels. 15. Tucked away in Sun City, Rustenburg, South Africa, the Palace of Sun City is a 5-star wonder, holding the world's largest themed resort hotel title. And when they say themed, they mean it. Surrounded by a jaw-dropping 25-hectare man-made botanical jungle, this place is a green oasis with nearly 2 million plants, trees, and shrubs showing off their natural glory. Since its grand opening in 1992, this palace has been the playground for millions of people from all corners of the world. So, if you're up for a blend of luxury, adventure, and a touch of magic, the Palace of the Lost City is calling your name. 16. South Africa is known for hosting some of the best sporting events outside Europe, and the Cape Town Cycle Tour is one of them. The Cape Town Cycle Tour is the world's largest individual timed event, bringing together people interested in cycling from all parts of the world. Now, make sure to mark your calendars because this event is usually held on the second Sunday of March, with the starting point being the Grand Parade Precinct in Strand Street. You can even catch a glimpse of the Table Mountain from here. Along the way, you'll encounter a lot of other attractions, with beautiful views of the cultural and colorful areas of Vocap and Cape Town Stadium. 17. Stretching out 2,500 kilometers, the coastline of South Africa has witnessed over 2,000 shipwrecks, each with a tale dating back at least 500 years. With such an outrageous number of shipwrecks, it's no wonder this stretch earned the ominous titles of the Graveyard of Ships and the Cape of the Storm. One very well-known shipwreck is that of the São Bento. This Portuguese vessel, named after Saint Benedict, faced the tragic fate of the Wild Coast in 1554. The journey began when São Bento, led by Captain Fernando de Alvares Cabral and its crew, set sail from the port of Cochin in India with goods bound for Lisbon. However, their journey did not go as planned, as severe weather conditions battered the ship, causing significant damage. Over the years, numerous lighthouses have been erected along the coast to guide and protect sailors from similar misfortunes. 18. The Kruger National Park in the heart of South Africa is a true masterpiece of nature. Spread across more than 19,000 square kilometers, it's like a wildlife wonderland that's nearly larger than the entire surface of Israel. Now, why do people visit this place? It's all about the safari experience. Imagine cruising along well-maintained roads with endless opportunities to spot wildlife. But the real star of the show? The incredible biodiversity. Kruger National Park boasts over 500 bird species, 100 reptile species, and 150 species of mammals. And who could forget the notorious Big Five? The lion, leopard, elephant, black rhinoceros, and African buffalo. So if you're up for a safari that's beyond your wildest dreams, Kruger National Park is the place to be. 19. In South Africa, you can experience a train ride so spectacular, you may start rethinking your travel options. Can you imagine a train ride so exclusive that the ticket to travel through its main route costs more than a plane ticket covering the same distance between two cities? Yeah, you heard it right. And we're talking about the one and only South African Rovos Rail. This legendary train service is considered the most luxurious on the entire planet, and for the price, you can expect nothing less than that. It's a 17-hour journey from Johannesburg to Cape Town, and it's a lot more comfortable than squeezing into a cramped airplane seat for the same route. 20. South Africa was the first country in the world to give people the right to love whomever they want. This happened in 1997 when they wrote it into their constitution, ensuring nobody could be treated differently based on gender or sexual orientation. In 2006, South Africa went even further and became the first African country to legalize same-sex marriages, also solidifying its position as the 5th country globally to acknowledge and embrace such unions. 21. Did you know South Africa is home to the biggest crater you can ever see? The Vredefort impact crater, close to the Vaal River, is the head of the crater world at more than 2 billion years old and stretching out more than 300 kilometers wide. Even though the rim of the crater has taken a bit of a beating over the years, the base is still holding strong. And they've given it a couple of cool names. You can call it the Vredefort Dome or the Vredefort Impact Structure if you're feeling fancy. Not only is it the largest crater globally, but it's also the oldest. 22. In South Africa, fish migration is such a big deal that even aliens in outer space can catch a glimpse of the action. Every May and June, an event called the Sardine Run happens. Massive fish squads of up to 15 kilometers long, 3.5 kilometers wide, and diving down 40 meters deep completely steal the show. These fish aren't just going on any old road trip. They're making their way from the chilly waters off Cape Point all the way up to the cool coastlines of the northern Eastern Cape and southern KwaZulu-Natal. This migration is so epic that even satellites in the sky have caught pics of the underwater parade. We hope these facts make you fall in love with South Africa like we did. Which fact was your favorite? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fun facts.